Mr. Speaker,
Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and our good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people, and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, we will move straight to item 5. Item 5, correction of votes and proceedings and official reports. We have copies of the votes and proceedings of Monday, 16th December 2024. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7. Yes, page 7.
I'm grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, item 5.1, communication from His Excellency the President. The country Azerbaijan has been spelled wrongly. It should be Azerbbai. Jan. So if all of the Azerbaijans could be corrected accordingly. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Table office kindly take note. Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Is it page 12 or 13? 12. Yes, please.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it's just an observation for your guidance. Page 9 and page 10. I don't know if the summary of the statements or remarks from the leaders is being done according to who is minority and majority. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader's statement is so heavily summarized, only 2 paragraphs. And then at page 10, the majority leader's remarks is virtually the whole page, so many paragraphs. And I thought that my leader made some very, very poignant and significant statements, which ought to have reflected. So I don't know what kind of discrimination my side is suffering from the part of the table office. So, Mr. Speaker, your guidance, we feel hard done by on this side of the house. At least some parity. They are all leaders. The summary is as though you didn't want to capture what our leader said. So, Mr. Speaker, as for this summary, it is over summarized. It is too excessive, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member, you have a point, and we're taking due note of it, and it will be corrected. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Honorable members, the last page, 19. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of the first sitting dated Monday, 16 December 2024, are adopted as the true record of proceedings. I hope now members have copies of the official report so that we could take some. I was told that they were actually distributed before we adjourned the House Senate the other time. Maybe cross-check from your listen. Yes, I saw you wanted to make a point, yes.
Right Honorable, please, We just received it about 5 minutes ago when we sat down. And so, and there are quite many, about 4 different official reports. So if we could be allowed today to go through, and then tomorrow we can take them, because we've had less than 5 minutes to go through.
Is that the understanding of the House? So we take them tomorrow. Yes.
Rightly so, Mr. Speaker. I think we have volumes of these reports that will require members to go through it and make the necessary corrections, Mr. Speaker. So I side with the submission from Honorable Ablakwa. Thank you.
Honorable members, it's so decided, and therefore we defer them till tomorrow. Then we can move on to item 6, statement. I have admitted one statement, just to pay tribute to the late Olympic and boxing legend, Clement Quartey Sr. And this is to be done by Honorable Komina Mensah Woyomi. Yes, please, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to pay tribute to the late Clement Quartey Sr., who died on November 2nd, 2024, in Greater London, United Kingdom. Mr. Speaker, as a legendary figure in Ghana's sporting history, Clement Quartey Sr.'s contributions and achievements to boxing and the Olympic movement have had a lasting impact on Ghana's participation in the Olympic Games. Mr. Speaker, Ghana started participating in the Olympic Games from 1952 in Helsinki, Finland, and has since attended 18 other times, winning 5 medals. These medals include Clement Quartey Sr. silver medal in boxing light welterweight at the 1960 Rome Olympics, Edible Sr. bronze medal in boxing light welterweight at the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, Prince Amate's bronze medal in boxing middleweight at the 1972 Munich Olympics, the National Olympic Football Team's bronze medal at the 1992 Barcelona Olympics, and Samuel Techi's bronze medal in boxing featherweight at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Mr. Speaker, Clement Quartey Sr. was born on April 12, 1938. He became the first African to win a medal at the Olympic Games, clinching silver in the light welterweight division at the 1960 Rome Olympics. Mr. Speaker, Clement first represented Ghana at the 1958 Commonwealth Games in Cardiff, Wales, and the 1960 Rome Olympics. He also won gold at the 1962 Commonwealth Games in Perth, Western Australia, and the 1962 Maiden African Boxing Championships in Cairo, Egypt. Mr. Speaker, although Clement Quartey did not go professional with his boxing career, his exceptional accomplishment inspired his stepbrother, Ike Bazooka Quartey, former WBA welterweight champion, to attain higher heights as a professional. Mr. Speaker, Clement lived in the United Kingdom since quitting sports in 1963. He will remain a celebrated figure in Ghana for his achievements in boxing, where he placed Ghana's name on the boxing map, and an exemplary figure for young boxers today. His funeral and burial are scheduled to take place in the United Kingdom on 18th and 19th December 2024, respectively, with a final funeral rites to take place in London on Saturday, 4th January 2025. Mr. Speaker, before I conclude, I wish to offer my heartfelt condolences to the family and his two children, Clifton and Alex, of our departed legend during this difficult time. May they take consolation that their own Clement Ike Quartey left a legacy that extends far beyond the ring, touching many lives with his remarkable skills, determination, and sportsmanship. I pray that the soul of Clement Ike Quartey and all sportsmen and women who played significant roles in raising the flag of Ghana rest in perfect peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honorable members, comments, please. Yes, Honorable Yao Boama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make some brief comments on the statement ably made by my good friend, Honorable Woyome. Mr. Speaker, we sympathize with the bereaved family on the loss of this great Olympian that this country produced and what he did for this country, Mr. Speaker. But it's very sad that 72 years of Ghana's participation in the Olympic Games has only generated 5 medals. Mr. Clement Quartey only lived to see the addition of only 4 medals to what he got for Ghana in 1952. Mr. Speaker, this also requires that we have to relook how we train our Olympians and all our sports personalities to be able to win more medals in the coming Olympics. Mr. Speaker, it was very sad for Ghana to have gone to the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, not to have won a single medal. The last time we won a medal was in Tokyo in 2020, where Techi also won a medal in boxing. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the cost of preparing our Olympic athletes, you also agree with me that a lot more has to be done in the technical aspect of preparing these sportsmen. It's good that we participate in the games, but it requires that we put in a lot more to be able to win more medals. Mr. Quartey is gone. He's gone as a hero. He did his best for the country. He won us a medal, and we are paying tribute to him. But those in charge of our sports, and I know Mr. Neil Ante-Van-der-Poel will be speaking, has a lot to do in the area of sports to be able to achieve or attain more medals, either at the Olympics, the World Cup, or other junior competitions that will be participating. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Neil Ante-Van-der-Poel.
Well, thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity given me to contribute to this statement ably delivered by my colleague, Ranking Member on Youth and Sports Committee, Honourable Kobe Woyome. I'm a bit passionate about this statement because Clement Quartey Sr. was an uncle of mine. He was a great inspiration to many of us who grew up in a boxing hub of Bukom. Not only I Quartey, after him, there were 3 other members of the family who took to boxing. 2 of them got to the African champion level, And the other, our nephew, Alfred Cobra Quartey, also won a world title. It's a family of boxers, and I am not surprised when his inspiration led Ike Quartey Jr. from football to become a boxer, and then with the assistance of Ambassador Ni Amakan Amatefio, Ike Quartey got the opportunity to first fight at the Barcelona Olympic Games and then the Commonwealth Games before achieving the status of a world champion. I'm happy my colleague, Honorable Patibuama, has also mentioned it. If you look at the list, Ike Quartey Sr., Prince Amate, Eddie Blay, who happened to have come from the Western region, but built his boxing life in Accra. First at Accra New Town, before Bukom. Samuel Techi, also from Bukom, have all excelled because of the pace that was set by people like Roy Ankara, Clute Robertson, Afetete, and the rest. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to note that today, those boxing gyms that produce all these world champions and legends are almost extinguished. Today, boxing has become a national sport because if you go to the boxing arena on the normal National Boxing Day League, some of the best boxers come from the northern part of the country and Ashanti region. Of note, two of the best boxers in the current National League are from the Ashanti region. It means that boxing is now being looked at nationwide. And as such, we must extend the facilities beyond the borders of Accra. The days when Ebo Dankwa and Anaya Okunedu have to come all the way from the regions to be based in Accra to become world champions, those days are gone. Today, boxing is being championed by a chief in the Ashanti region, Hemahene, that one of his boys is a national champion. In Obuasi, we have boys who are fighting and producing themselves as future champions. Mr. Speaker, I think as a nation, if you look at these records, boxing has achieved a lot for us. They've raised the flag of this country, even more than football. But we don't give it the attention it deserves. Out of the 5 medals that we are talking about today, 4 from boxing. That should tell us that if we could give a percentage of the attention we give to football, to boxing, and other sporting disciplines, maybe this country will not always be languishing at the last position on the table or medal table at the Olympic Games. We may be squaring it up with Americans, the British, the Australians, and the Chinese on the medal table. I believe seriously that if we want to really achieve much in sports, we must be ready to invest in the sport. Mr. Speaker, coming to this, let me also say this. All these people passed without any serious notice. But for this august house, celebrating them through a statement, nothing. Nothing. And by this time, we should have monuments. Monuments to remember the future generation of the exploits of Ike Quartey Sr., Eddie Blay, Prince Amate, and the rest. And I will be happy if instead of the president's statue at Efiam Kwanta roundabout, we have Eddie Blay statue there to tell people from the Western region that it is not a Kokrani alone who exhibited wonders in boxing, but there was once an Edible. It is important because these are the things that will make people inspire, be motivated to also achieve something. Mr. Speaker, if you take note, you will notice that when we build the boxing arena, what we decided to do was to inscribe the names of all the past champions on the walls so that the young ones who will come there will see them and get inspired and motivated so that they can also excel. I think that we should begin to honor our heroes so that people will feel proud, fighting and sacrificing for this nation. With these words, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity given, and we wish the family, especially his nuclear family and the extended family, even though the funeral is outside, we shall be observing the local one here in Accra at the family house in Bukom. And I'm extending invitation to all who are here and wish to be with us to mourn this legend. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I thought we could move on, but I can see a senior member on his feet. Two of you, then after that, we'll move on to some other business. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Our heart goes out to the bereaved family, and as has been expressed, may the soul of this great man, Mr. Quartey, rest in peace. Honorable Speaker, a dimension to this statement that I want to stress is that probably we've not done a cost-benefit analysis as to how sports will add to our GDP. And it's important. If sports is just for entertainment, but it is not of serious economic value to this country, we will not use our meager resources for sports. So, Honorable Speaker, I am of the humble view that people are touting sports, underfunding of sports. It's about time that we have a blueprint and do proper cost-benefit analysis that apart from we exporting cocoa, and apart from gold and the rest of them, there is a financial return if we should sink good money in the area of sports. And that is what to also inform governments to realize that there is another revenue stream, which is sports. And when you know it will benefit the nation in the long run, then investing in that place will make a lot of sense. So I am of the humble view that our sports people who want to make a fetish out of sports, and we go and we lose. The Black Stars are giving us a lot of pain and the rest of it. And the coaches are being underpaid, all kinds of challenges that we are facing. But if anything matters to us as a nation, and we want to invest properly in it, let's cost it. And let's see the return on the investment. Probably it will be a paradigm shift for this nation. If not, we will not even celebrate heroes any longer, because who is a hero if what he's trying to do does not benefit the entire nation? So I want to commend the maker of the statement for his resourcefulness as always, and I want the nation to look at this dimension of sports. I'm grateful to Honorable Speaker for the space.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to add my voice to the earlier speakers in expressing my condolences to the family and the sports fraternity. Mr. Speaker, it has been established that Ghana first started taking part in the Olympic Games in 1952. The next Olympic Games, which was 1956, Ghana did not take part. That was soon after independence. So it was in 1960 that as a sovereign nation that we first participated at the Olympic Games, and Quartey Sr. won the medal for Ghana. I also want to establish that Ghana did not participate in the Moscow Olympic Games in 1976 and also in the Montreal Games in 1980 in Canada. Mr. Speaker, the two games that were absent were due to political reasons. Political reasons in the sense that you had this East-West struggle for domination of the African continent. So whilst we refused to go for, the West got people to refuse to go for the games in Moscow, so was the Soviet Union able to convince its allies, including Ghana, not to participate in the Montreal Games. At that time, we had very good boxers. Azuma Nelson was one of such boxers, and obviously if he had participated in the two games, he would have added to the medal for Ghana. So his absence in the medal list, but ranks very high in the world boxing calendar, is because of political reasons that he was not able to participate in. Mr. Speaker, I like the comment made by Honorable Atachia about trying to get the cost benefits analysis of sports contribution to the national economy. But I need not go very far. We all recall D.K. Poison, the legendary D.K. Poison, who won the first world title for Ghana. At that time, Ghana had problems of logistics, and his purse, his money, was used in buying essential commodities to support the economy of Ghana. It took a very long time for him to get the reimbursement. So I believe that sports has a very important role to play in our national economy. But of course, even the little money that is given for sports development, we are not able to utilize them properly for the purposes that they have been allocated. I recall the just ended Olympic Games in Paris. Ghana never participated in boxing, which was very, very unfortunate. I also recall that Ghana hosted the last African Games, and we all know and are aware of some of the unfortunate developments in the management and development of sports. Sports is not just an ordinary subject area. It is a professional area that we have to look at it and let those who practice sports be given the opportunity to run sports. At the last African Games, we were just not ready. We simply did not use the monies for the purposes that we were given. So on that note, I want to say that we have been getting our fair share, even though it is inadequate, but when it is given, we must make sure that we utilize them for the purposes for which they have been allocated. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to thank the maker of this statement for his thorough research in bringing up to the fore what Clement Quartey was able to do for Ghana, and for us to sustain boxing as one of the national sports in the country. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honorable members, we have one more statement, but I want to plead with the person if we could take it tomorrow. It deals with the West African Examination Council. It's quite an important statement. Please kindly make it available to your colleagues so that tomorrow they could make some very incisive comments on that issue. So we move on to the next item. Item 8. I don't know whether people are there, presentation of papers. Whether these papers are ready. So we'll go to at the commencement of public business. Presentation of papers. The following papers to be presented. 7A, by the Minister for Finance. Expenditure in advance of appropriation for January to March 2025.
Mr. Speaker, I think yesterday we had decided to put it on hold briefly. As it stands now, I don't have any new update with regards to that.
Unfortunately, you didn't tell me the authority you used to respond to this matter. Could you put it on record?
Mr. Speaker, this is the MP for Anyanso, the available leader at the moment.
I see. So since when did you become available leader?
Mr. Speaker, by virtue of the circumstances we find ourselves in.
Well, so available leader, what about the other items? Which one do you think we could take? Then I can note that and then call on the people to make the presentations. Under item 7, we still have B, C, and then under item 8, which is presentation and first reading of bills, which ones are we to take? Who are available to lay them? And then I can proceed on that. Available leader, has your reign ended?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a leader is on his way coming. He has not given any indication yet as where or which paper we should take. So I'll plead with you that we'll wait for leader to come. So we can take statement if we have any.
Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, the item you mentioned, 7A, is such a critical requirement of government and a responsibility of this House to undertake that. Mr. Speaker, you will recall that yesterday I suggested that it was almost an open understanding that the finance minister was going to be here to lay this paper. when he decided not, or when he didn't come, there was rumors all over the place. I didn't peddle any rumor. I just suggested that I hope there was no conspiracy to say that the finance minister will not lay this particular item. The very respected the Supreme Leader, Honorable Chairman Sabonsu, came to the defense of the finance minister saying that based on some new development on the fiscal front of the state, it might be necessary for him to maybe review what he's already brought to Parliament, because I know you are in possession of what he was supposed to lay. That is why it appeared on the order paper. We are here today again, Mr. Speaker. The finance minister is not here. The leader of the side opposite is not here. Nobody is telling us anything. Mr. Speaker, I'll repeat. I hope there's no conspiracy to make it impossible for this to be laid, to be taken, until Parliament, the 8th Parliament expires. The whole world would have known that it was a deliberate decision of somebody not to lay this to be taken. I hope the rumors circulating are false. I just hope it's false. Otherwise, there's no reason why a document in the possession of Mr. Speaker, the document is already here. Why there's nobody available in government to lay this is a mystery, Mr. Speaker. It is a mystery. Why did you communicate that document to Parliament if you are not ready to lay it? So, Mr. Speaker, I'll just leave it here. But let all people, workers in government, all workers in this country, everybody who draws from the public purse, be aware that the opportunity exists for the finance minister to communicate to Parliament this document of expenditure in advance of appropriation. However, they have decided that for reasons known to them, they are not going to lay that paper. If we get to a point where we are not able to take this under the 8th Parliament, the blame should solely be at the doorstep of President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia and the finance minister. And they should be aware that there are consequences in the Constitution if you fail to discharge your duties, responsibilities placed on you as a public official, and you fail to do it, there are consequences. They should be ready to face those consequences. Mr. Speaker, I leave it here.
Yes, Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempe.
Your great son. I'm still your great son.
Oh, Manshiasaf.
Your great son.
You are my son. Ask whether you are great. That's a different thing.
Mr. Speaker, there we go again. There we go again. After looking at his side, his leader, deputy leader, are not available in the chamber. He extends a statement to us to say that there's a conspiracy on our side. If there's a conspiracy of leadership. If there's a conspiracy, where is Ato? Where is Emmanuel Mabua? Where is Afenyo? Where is Patricia J? I think there's a conspiracy of leadership. And we should hold Agbeja responsible for that conspiracy. Because for all the leaders here, he's the senior most. He's the minority chief whip. So what are you doing? Mr. Speaker, it is not the first time in this house that even a minister brings a document and decides that I'm going to withdraw the document. It will not be the first. So the fact that the Speaker has got the expenditure vote on account doesn't mean the Minister of Finance, in the light of what the Supreme Leader, or Senate Chairman Sabotu said, certain things might have happened on the physical space in this country, such that the Finance Minister may be looking at his figures very well to come and withdraw and bring an appropriate document. Mr. Speaker, the best we can do at this juncture is to suspend sitting so that we go and look for our leaders to come and direct us on what to do. Mr. Speaker, I'll beg, let us suspend sitting so that we go and chase Ato and Afenyo and find out what they are doing. Maybe they are doing your beloved welfare issues. Yesterday, you were on and on about your welfare issues. Maybe the leadership is on your welfare issues. So, Mr. Speaker, we can't do anything on this side. We can't move because the leader of government business is not here. So let us suspend. Give us 3 hours. We will come back and continue.
Are you rising up to respond to what he said or to address the issue on the floor? To address the issue on the floor.
To respond to him.
To address. Well, I'll be taking those who are to address the issue on the floor, not those who are to respond to him. Yes.
It's on the floor as well.
Well, his is a comment. And so let's focus on the main issue. And as you handle the main issue, you may make a statement or so in response to what he said. But that should not be the main focus.
Okay.
So among you, you are the senior. So I will give you the opportunity. Then after that, we take two more, and then we can move on. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are worried here because of what he called rumor. Our leader, our chief whip called rumor. And the practical implication of that rumor on the fact that in the absence of the leadership and in the presence of one leader, that single leader doesn't have the authority to communicate anything here. We have a leader here who has the authority of the leaders to communicate an issue. Mr. Speaker, it does not matter whether the leaders here are in their numbers or not. The essential thing is that somebody has to communicate the position of this House. He has been able to do it, they cannot do it. They are leading government business. Mr. Speaker, they are leading government business. They are unable to tell us that the issues placed here cannot be discussed. And it is a serious matter. It is unthinkable that you can go out there, take government business, bring it to the floor, and nobody apart from the leader can communicate it. It's a very serious concern. Mr. Speaker, I believe very strongly that there's something wrong with that side of leadership. And there's something wrong with the people at the opposite side of affairs. And we will urge them to tell us the truth rather than go around the issue and not pinpoint the exact problem they are facing. Because if a leader amongst you cannot tell us exactly what you want us to do on the issues here, then there's a big problem. Mr. Speaker, I will urge you to tell them to speak on the issue rather than access to suspend sitting. We are here in our numbers. We want to work. Why suspend sitting? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, second Deputy Speaker to take the chair. But let me take two more interventions. Yes, Honorable Bejra, is that?
Right, so, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. And, Mr. Speaker, it is worrying that getting to the end of a particular regime, we are witnessing what we all know, the obvious, that needed to be done. Mr. Speaker, we live by a constitution, and the constitution clearly states that there should be a vote on account so that the incoming administration will be able to at least take care of government expenditure before coming with their budget. And this is obvious. Everybody knows that. It is rather unfortunate that since we came yesterday, we've had the issue of the minister coming to lay this instrument before us. Mr. Speaker, it is not just the Minister of Finance who can lay documents when it comes to the issues of laying documents for that matter. We've been in this House for long, and we know that any minister at all can be authorized at least to formally lay a document from any of the ministries, departments, or agencies. And for us to be here yesterday, we did not do much. And today we are told that even though the document has been with us in this House, there is not one single minister in this House who has been authorized by the Minister of Finance or the leadership of this House to lay that document for it to be referred to the appropriate committee to work on is worrying. It clearly shows that there's something going on. We have the minister in charge of parliamentary affairs. He's still a minister. And presidential affairs. Okay. No, oh, I'm sorry. Presidential affairs. I hear my former running mate is misleading the House. The minister in charge of parliamentary affairs is in this House. A very senior member of the House who has seen it all, changing from one government to another. He knows very well that after this session and after this meeting, when we adjourn, we cannot take this budget or vote on account. And so, colleagues, I want to beg our brothers and sisters on the other side of the House. 2016, when it happened to us that we were halved, we came and we supported them to bring the vote on account. And so they should help us to also bring the vote on account so that we can pass it for the coming government. We know the workers are waiting on us, and we are here to work as members of parliament. I don't even think, Mr. Speaker, that we should suspend the House because the minister is not around. Since we have the senior most person who is also a minister of state in the House, he can just lay it and then it's referred to the appropriate committee for us to work on. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I don't want to believe that our colleagues are deliberately deciding that this House should not pass the vote on account. I don't want to believe that. I believe that they will help us to work and then get government business done properly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since when did speaking prevent you from speaking again in this House? Since when? Mr. Speaker, I'm wondering where my good friend and a very, very good friend of mine, Benja, is coming from. Mr. Speaker, I was on my way to Parliament when I saw him sitting on my seat. And the time when I come, he will beat me. Somebody who threatened to beat me if I come and cock my seat is now telling me. He's now telling me that he's begging me to come so that you beat me. No. Mr. Speaker, what we are saying is so fundamental to the issues. Mr. Speaker, we have been in this chamber when the Speaker has even said that the deputy speakers cannot represent him on certain issues. We have been here. We have been here. We have been here and we have been told that if you don't know, the Honorable Chairman Sabos, MP for Swami, is no longer the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. When the President announced his team for transition, he was labeled as Minister for Presidential Affairs. So he has moved on. He has moved on. He cannot come here and come and present things on the back. So, Mr. Speaker, the most serious aspect of this is that if we don't get the finance minister, we cannot move. Even bills, we have been told that if the minister doesn't come, bills cannot be presented. Haven't we been told that by my honorable colleagues? What is different? Let us suspend sitting, go and look for the finance minister, let him come and lay the paper, and then we'll do the vote. It's not only the vote of account, Mr. Speaker. They are interested not in the vote of account too, Mr. Speaker. They are interested in their terminal benefits. It is part. I don't aim me here. You don't want to come to work. For 2 weeks, NDC side of Parliament decided that Parliament should close. You are not ready to work. Why are you now ready to work? You are ready to work because you are interested in Article 71. His Excellency, the resetting president, has said, even when he comes to office, he's going to cancel Article 71. It is not a priority for anybody. Let us do things that are better, not Article 71. that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised Ghanaians that he doesn't want Article 71. We are not going to do Article 71. We will do it. When you come and approve it so that I can come and collect my own. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable members, I wanted to give it to the senior most, but once the whip is up on his feet, let him give it to the whip. Mr. Speaker, this was a very simple matter. And I said that the leader, Honorable Chairman Sabonsu, actually gave a reason. Then this thing is getting into another level. I am so surprised. Today, the former running mate, maybe he's okay now. He's basically stabbing even the people on his side. The constitution of this country, at the moment, does not prevent Article 71 office holders from getting whatever is entitled to them. When President Mahama said when he becomes president, is President Mahama president today? So what is your business talking about the fact that you will not pay? You will not pay what, Mr. Speaker? It's a simple thing. Why is he telling us to close, Mr. Speaker? I just saw our colleague, the minister responsible for environment. The bill we have gone through is left with only third reading. In fact, you were in the chair when we passed it. For some reason, when we started this debate, I just saw our colleague leave the chamber again. If you brought a bill, you don't want to do it, all of a sudden, they have decided that you are still government. Mr. Speaker, this is still the government. And you are still responsible for carrying out your responsibilities until the 7th of January. Why are you deciding that you will not work? Why are you deciding not to work, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, even if they will not lay the bill, at conclave, it was decided that we will take the third reading of the Environmental Protection Bill and do the Ghana Boundary Commission bills. And the Honorable Chairman Sabusu and colleagues are ready to take this. So if the running mate have decided to check out of Parliament, he doesn't even want Parliament to work because he's going to enjoy the running mate statusship, he can actually leave us in the chamber to do parliamentary work. If you come to Parliament, you must work. So the recommendation that we should close, Mr. Speaker, really, that people have come to work, we have work to do. The only recommendation he's given us. So if your party has won, would you have been saying that we shouldn't work? Or because you lost, you don't want to do any work again? But maybe next time you contest again, isn't it? So help Parliament to work. So, Mr. Speaker, I take exception to the comment he made that this side is doing this because of our personal benefit. Mr. Speaker, that is inappropriate. And I encourage him either to substantiate what he says or withdraw. He must withdraw or substantiate the allegation he's making that members of this House are only ready to work in this chamber because of Article 71. He must actually prove it or withdraw that statement because it is actually demeaning and it's falsehood. It's peddling falsehood. And somebody who actually aspired to occupy the high office of state should not be peddling falsehood. So he must either withdraw or substantiate what he has said. Mr. Speaker, that's what I'm saying. Yes, let me give the opportunity to Tema West member.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think that my respected minority whip is on official expedition here. I don't remember when, I don't recall when stepping out of this chamber became an issue for him to mention that the Minister for Environment walking out here is because of his hair bill. On the other paper, that's the reason why she's here. So because of her, her document or whatever she's supposed to present here, she can't go out to attend to nature's call or even go out and do what she wants to do. You don't do things, just try to find reasons to substantiate your own position. Yes, we want to work. We are all here to do the same job. But the fact still remains, my brother, if you don't mind, I would rather recommend that we start with the exemptions of 1D, 1F. If you don't mind. But you are also looking for something. You see, now, Mr. Speaker, it has become an interest game where the people on the other side are trying to push us to do what they want us to do. In fact, if you're listening to my chief whip, the minority whip, he even went further to say that the people of Ghana should know that from March, workers of Ghana should know that from next year, if January they don't get salary, then it's the people on this side. We have appropriated our bill and they are going to get salary until we leave office in December. You are coming from January. And we are coming back even in January before we go home. So you cannot push us as the opposition, as we speak now, to do your wish. Allow us to bring up the government business for us all to debate and agree to disagree. But you don't tell us what to do. Mr. Speaker, if you wish to ask us what we want to do first, we don't want to present any bills right now. We want to put 1D, 1F exemptions on the floor so that we debate it and agree to disagree. That is where we want to commence from. I don't know what they think. Otherwise, please don't push us to what you think you want us to do. We are determining government business and we'll do what we think is best for Ghana at this moment. Please, my lovely brothers and sisters, why are we pushing our faith? When very soon you are going to have this country, all of this country on your shoulder. Allow us, for this short time that we have, to enjoy our moment. And we want to say, on the floor here, we want to tell you that we are prepared to do 1D, 1F exemption. That's where we want to start from. If you don't want that, then you don't tell us what you want us to do. Because for now, you have given us the right to present government business, and that's exactly what we are doing. I rest my case, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Let me give the opportunity to Honorable Eric Opoku. I'll come to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, it is surprising this afternoon that our colleagues on the majority side is arguing as if they are in opposition. They are still in government. Their tenure has not ended. They have not handed over yet. They still have a duty to perform under the Constitution of Ghana. We have gone through several transitions. No president has ever avoided a critical duty like this in our nation. Presidents have lost elections, but they've performed their duties. It is the duty of President Nana Akufo-Addo to present that statement before this House. It is his duty. We approved the budget last November. The budget ends in December. The new government will be ushered in early January. So we need expenditure in advance of the budget to be able to pay salaries from January, February, March until a new budget is introduced into this House. This is the simple duty that the president must perform to the good people of Ghana. And the finance minister always performs this duty on behalf of the president. You recall, when the finance minister was not available to discharge this responsibility, we allowed the then majority leader, our able majority leader, to step in his shoes and perform that critical duty. And today, you are refuging in some excuses that we haven't heard before in this House. Mr. Speaker, the introduction of Article 37 in this debate is uncalled for. It has nothing to do with what we intend to do. In fact, Article 71 has never been mentioned anywhere. What they are running away from is to present expenditure in advance of budget. Just expenditure to cater for January, February, and March. And you are saying that, look, you have lost elections, so you won't do. Is that what you're telling us? Is that what you're telling us? That you have lost elections, and therefore you don't want to perform that duty. The president, Nana Akufo-Addo, cannot do this to Ghanaians. He must come and present the document. He has a duty to fulfill, and he cannot run away from that responsibility. That is why the leader is not here. That is why all your ministers are not around. Please and please, Mr. Speaker, it is a duty that they must perform. They cannot run away. Are you telling the good people of Ghana that you are now in the minority, you have lost elections, So you can't perform your duty. That they shouldn't be paid for January, February, March because they have voted against you. Is that what you're telling us? It is wrong. It has never happened in the history of this country. Don't set that bad precedence. Because yesterday, your leader was here giving hope that very soon you come back. And this is what you want to do to Ghanaians. That you have lost elections. So even budget, constitutional duty, you don't want to do it. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Mr. Speaker, you have all the powers to compel these people to perform the duty that they must, perform under the Constitution. So long as we have all accepted to run this country by law, the law must work. So wherever the finance minister is, he's also a member of this house. He should know that he can run, but he can never hide. Wherever he is, we'll bring him before this house to prevent that statement. Mr. Speaker, on this note, thank you very much.
Yes, let me give the opportunity to the leader emeritus.
Mr. Speaker, I think that it must be established. It must be established that the majority party as of now in Parliament, the caucus, has never decided not to lay documents in this house. Mr. Speaker, the chief whip for the minority made that explicit statement that it's been decided by the majority that documents should not be laid in this house. That is a patented untruth. Speaker, then he said, we have decided not to work. Again, an untruth. Mr. Speaker, he then goes out there to say that we have elected since yesterday, decided since yesterday not to work. And yesterday, I was telling him that this uncanny ability to establish rumors in this house and proceed on account of rumor is improper. And I saw him gesturing to me that I should go calm on that. And today, he proceeds on the same path. It's not right. It's not right. Because somebody made an allegation and you said that the person should withdraw because there's no truth in that. In the meantime, you are the most culpable in these instances. It's not right, Chief Whip. It's not right. But having said so, Mr. Speaker, the finance minister is supposed to bring the document and present in this house. Mr. Speaker, the document, as you said, was even brought here before the conduct of the elections. It was brought here before the conduct of the elections. At the time, the leader was pleading that we should have business transacted on that. And then the House, with you participating, elected not to participate. So why do you turn around? No, I'm saying then, at the time, because of this quabble over who to occupy majority and who to occupy minority, you were not able to transact business. But the document had come here. So let it not be stated for the record that the ruling administration is failing in its duty. Again, a palpable untruth. You don't do that. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, I said that, whereas I'm aware that the document is here, I didn't want to bear responsibility of presenting it because of issues that had arisen before the transition team, the meetings that we're holding. And I said that I thought the minister requires to come to this place and do the presentation himself, given issues that were emerging. Perhaps he may want to amend portions of it. That is what I said. This morning, we have had one meeting in which he was supposed to participate.
He couldn't be there for some obvious reasons, that he was working, was dealing with some aspects of the document. I don't know whether he's going to amend portions of it before presenting it to the House. Now, if these facts are not known to you, and you establish and cook your own rumor in the House and proceed from there to say that the government has decided not to do that, Mr. Speaker, that cannot be appropriate in this House. Mr. Speaker, it is not only workers. If the House is unable to approve of the vote on account, it's not only workers who may not be paid from January 2025. Even this House meeting after December to listen to the President present his message, his last message on the State of the Nations, cannot hold. And the House was called upon to avoid this situation before the elections. Why was it not done? Why was it not done? The House was embroiled in determining who occupies the majority seats and who occupies the minority seat. Most irrelevant. With the greatest respect, most irrelevant. Mr. Speaker, if we are not able to approve of the vote on account, the summoning of Parliament to elect a speaker, for the speaker to now also swear in the new members of Parliament, technically cannot take place. Is that what you want as a nation? Mr. Speaker, the third one relates to the event to even swear in the new president. It will be encapsulated in the vote on account. It will be encapsulated in it because it's a next year event and provision will have to be made for it here. Perhaps people were not even thinking through and you spend your time fighting over which seats to occupy. We are where we are. However, Mr. Speaker, I would suggest strongly that the minister is aware of his responsibilities and he is not minded to renege. And certainly the vote on account will be presented in the House. I'm just saying that as I've been doing, I'm not able to do that because this morning when we met, he wasn't there. And because he wasn't there, I have no instructions from him. I cannot present the paper on behalf of the minister. But the needful will be done at the appropriate time. And I believe that certainly it may not travel, if it's not possible today, because we are having another meeting at 4 and a third meeting at 5. Mr. Speaker, the other one that he related to, the minority leader, the majority leader, and you, the chief whip, we have been in consultations. And we have been in consultation with the speaker. And we know the route that have been defined. I'll leave it there. Mr. Speaker, the proper thing will be done. So I guess moving forward, as I've said, the proper thing will be done. But because the two leaders are not here, and I'm told that some consultation is going on, if we can suspend for a brief while, let them come, and then we take it from there. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me take one more. One from each side, then probably we'll suspend. Let me give it to Honorable Veggie. Yes, Honorable Veggie. Then I'll take one here, then we suspend. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the former leader, Honorable Osei Chairman Sabonsu, for the education and the briefing. In fact, this side of the House, we are very well aware of the consequences of not approving this expenditure in advance of appropriation. Mr. Speaker, if all that he said, and that is a fact, that not approving this, even the inauguration cannot take place because government expenditure cannot take place from January 1. And the duty is on the president, the current president, in Article 180 of the Constitution to
bring this estimate that will cover the first quarter of next year for the House to approve. When exactly is the Minister of Finance coming to lay the document? Because if the document is not laid, the House cannot act on it. And if that document is not laid and the House has nothing to work on, the challenges we are going to have will squarely be blamed on his side of the House. Because our side do not have the executive power to bring this document to the House. The executive power is on the current president to bring the document to the House. So the people of Ghana who are watching us live knows very well that if they fail to do that, where government expenditure cannot take place from January, they will be blamed. So I want to ask the leader, the former leader, based on the assurance that he has given us, that he should honor that assurance and bring the document for the House so that we can work on it. Because we have up to only Friday to be able to work on it. That is what I can ask for. Because what I wanted to say earlier, I dropped them because of the assurances he has given us. So I want to thank him to bring out the document to work on. Thank you.
Okay, let me give the leadership. So, Honorable Tete.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Like former leader has explained to the House, President is aware of the circumstances. So I'll plead with colleagues for us to give the Minister of Finance up to tomorrow. And I know, as the leader has already stated, they are working on the final amendment. And by tomorrow, I think Finance Minister will bring the document. The document is already here. It's just a portion of it that leader is saying that they are going to amend it. So I'll plead with you that we suspend the House for an hour. Thank you.
Yes, Deputy Minority Leader.
That's why let me thank the former Majority Leader for the assurance again. But let me also say that I was waiting for him to have stated a very clear position he made in the last Parliament, in this same period where he was very clear that when we are in a period of transition, as we are, the things we do in this House must relate to transition, and there must be transitional issues, and that we cannot commit the incoming government with any other financial obligations. And that's what he said, and I supported him then, and I support him now. I also want to state for the record that any time we talked about the issue of who was majority and majority, and what turned out, we must not forget that the reason it went out of proportion was because the leader of the House, the majority leader, who was supposed to guide this House and protect the independence of Parliament, recognizing the separation of powers and protect this House, was the one that basically took the matter to the world and went to the Supreme Court and turned this whole thing upside down. And that is the record, and we must not forget. But more importantly, Honourable Speaker, as we discuss this, today's other paper has nothing to do with Article 71. So it was needless to have been brought up. More importantly, we must note that we don't have too much time. We have already agreed in the Business Committee the things that we are going to focus on this week. There are bills that have run the course that we must complete. The Public Account Committee has done some work. We must make sure we finish. And then we must deal with this important issue on expenditure in advance of the budget. These are the issues that we have agreed on, and we must focus on them. All the other issues, I support what former Majority Leader, Honorable Chairman Sembosu has said. We are not, in this transitional period, going to approve new loans, commit the government on tax waivers. Anything related to committing this government must wait for a few weeks for the incoming president. So, right now, Speaker, we take the assurance
and we await a very critical matter, the Minister of Finance to come in for us to deal with a very important matter and deal with the other issues. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We are rising on Friday. You are going to be responsible if we don't achieve the things we've set our eyes on. And we must do them. Don't drag us back. We know exactly why we are here. We are in a transitional period. You have been reduced to Nkokwan Nkete, we understand. And we are working with you to make sure we transition in a very beautiful, peaceful manner. Let's do so. Thank you.
Honorable members, the leadership has spoken, but I'm still inclined to call two other members. That's my directives. So let him give to Honorable Member for Doma East. Honorable members, Doma East, you have the floor.
Hey, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I am really surprised and amazed with the passion that our colleagues on the other side are pushing for work to be done here. I am surprised. Did we know this? Did we know this some months ago when we turned this place into a dancing competition? When this floor, they were dancing here. They were marching here. They were singing, revel, and all things. And they knew that we were supposed to have worked. I am surprised. This is exciting. I am surprised that when we were supposed to have worked, they were fighting for majority. They were excited. And they are telling us that today, somebody is refusing to work. Between the two of us, who is refusing to work? Revel, or we are marching. We are marching. Mr. Speaker, it is important to say that if they think we are not ready to work, then that is a lie. We are ready to work.
Honorable member, let me indulge you that the Speaker himself is coming to take the seat.
We are ready.
You may go on.
We are ready to work. We are ready to lay the senior high school bill. We are ready to push out and make sure that we approve the judges. We are ready to work to ensure that 1D, 1F is approved. We are ready to work to ensure that the budget in appropriation is also approved. So if they think we are not ready to work, then that is a lie. But next time, it should be a lesson to all of us that when we are in a situation where we are supposed to work, we will not use the time to dance or to march. We will not use the time to be singing revel, but we will use the time to work and make sure that Ghanaians will appreciate that. Ghanaians should know today that when we were ready to work, you were singing revolution. You were dancing and marching here. Ghanaians should know that when we were ready to make sure that they get their salary, you said no. You want leadership. You prefer leadership. But today, you are happily, passionately thinking Ghanaians will appreciate you. We thank God that you are ready to work. But next time, when you get opportunity, it's not revel, it's about working. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, I couldn't get, what is your name?
Mr. Speaker, my name is Paul Chumberima.
Which constituency?
The Vice constituency.
The old lady.
Sorry?
The old lady.
Old lady.
Mr. Speaker, it's unfortunate. An old lady kicked my ass.
Oh, sorry, you lost the elections.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
To
an 82-year-old woman.
That's why you want to be heard for the last time. I understand.
Mr. Speaker, your son has always been heard. You know
I understand. Yes, honorable members. I thought that you have exhausted this matter. Okay, leader, where's your colleague? That was one of the issues that were raised in your absence. And we were even asked to look for the leaders and bring you people in. We are happy that you are in. Please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my attention was drawn to the fact that the Honorable Majority Leader had indicated that he is consulting with me and that we should suspend before we come back to the chamber to continue the work. Mr. Speaker, I have not seen him today, and I've been here since morning, but I have not seen him personally, even with an eye. I don't know where he is. So, Mr. Speaker, it cannot be that he's consulting with me. I'm here now, and I've not seen him. I was here in the morning during the pre-sitting meeting. I asked my colleagues to take charge. I'm going for a transition meeting, and we'll be back. I'm back now after the transition meeting. I was there with the minister responsible for finance, and here am I. I've not seen him. So, Mr. Speaker, clearly there is no business to do. And the honorable member for Doma East, the one that the 82-year-old defeated, has indicated that obviously there's no business. So, Mr. Speaker, in view of that, I think we can adjourn for today. Thank you.
Yes, honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before you came back to take over from the second deputy speaker, we were wrapping up on the issue on the expenditure in advance of appropriation. And we took a cue from the statement made by the former majority leader, listing the implication for us not to have this approval done before we rise. And I want to add that following from what he said, I think you, Mr. Speaker, can give directives, if you are so minded, to the finance minister to appear before us, maybe tomorrow or any convenient day, to present the paper. Mr. Speaker, if you look on the other paper, you realize that your committee on budget even scheduled to meet today to consider the paper if it were moved, if it were presented to the floor. And so it is a process that must happen early enough because the finance ministry, the budget office, would need time to upload all these onto the gift mix to allow them prepare it for next year. And so it is very, very important that we do this in good time. And so just for them giving assurance is not enough. I want to hope and pray that you give directives and give time for the finance minister to come. Because the reasons they gave, unfortunately, are not convincing enough. The majority leader then, on one occasion, even presented a whole budget on behalf of the finance minister. So I'm surprised that none of them can just rise up and bow for this paper to be laid. But be as it may, if they want the finance minister to come here himself to do it, I appeal to your good office, Mr. Speaker, to give time frame for him to come and do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Afenyo-Markin.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the matters that have recently risen in the House are not matters that we should take lightly, especially because, Mr. Speaker, you have been accused for frustrating government business as recently as last 2 weeks. Mr. Speaker, where we have been billed to consider business for the day, and you actually proceeded to the items under 8, and yet there's nobody willing to just rise and bow for these papers to be laid. Mr. Speaker, may I refer the House to Order 96 of our standing orders. Mr. Speaker, presentation of papers. Speaker, it reads, a paper may be presented to the House only by the Speaker, the chairperson of a committee, a member, a minister, or a head of an independent constitutional body. So why is the group in government most unwilling for us to do any business today? Mr. Speaker, because we don't want our side to be accused of frustrating government business. This is what they go to the media and say. And I take strong exception to the fact that even though we have businesses listed on the order paper for today, the front bench of the leadership of the group in government are most unwilling for us to do anything. And they're actually urging upon you for the House to be suspended for some number of hours. Mr. Speaker, the people are looking at us. We have a few days to rise. And I believe that suspending or adjourning the House will not be the best option. I believe that we should be able to do some business today so that the little time we have can be profitably used. Mr. Speaker, with these words, I thank you for the opportunity.
Honorable members, time is not on our side, but there are some imperatives we have to work on. The delay may compel us to sit some days very late hours. My worry is whether we'll have that much time to truly scrutinize the work that is before us. I shudder to hear some of the statements coming from members. Elections will always come and go. We have the Constitution and our laws to go by. There's nothing we can do than to perform the duty that we voluntarily opted to do. We can't disappoint Ghanaians. I'm not surprised this is happening at the end of the term of this parliament. I'm not surprised. But this will also come to pass. The institution of parliament will continue to stay and grow. Ghana will live on. Members will simply destroy themselves. Because you all know that you reap what you sow. That's a natural law. You cannot run away from it. And these days, karma is very fast. So please, when you get up on the floor and just say anything. Don't forget, whatever you do it for yourself. I'm really surprised that members have made these statements. It's not good for our democracy. It's not good for our country. It's not even good for the members making the statements. Let's desist from it. There may be good reasons why the Minister for Finance is not here. We only needed information from him through leadership to the House, and we'll understand the situation. We know what is happening. We'll buy our time. When he's ready and he comes to present it, we'll do the good job. It's just expenditure in advance of appropriation, just 3 months. And so it's not something we can do within a day. We can do it within a day. We just want to be sure that it will be done. And I have no reason to doubt that he will perform his constitutional duty. And so please, let's go on with the other businesses. We discussed this in the morning at conclave, and my understanding was that we're going to do some 2 bills for today. There was effort to get the sponsors of the bill to be available so that they could lead the House to do those bills. The Environmental Protection Bill, and then also the Ghana Boundary Commission Bill. We agreed to do that today, whilst we await the arrival of the Minister of Finance either today or tomorrow. This one too, members are running away from it. I don't think it's the interest of anybody for us to renege from this duty. The Environmental Protection Bill, we finished with the consideration, is that with 3rd reading. Because all what we did through by way of amendments have all been captured according to our new standing orders. And the new bill is ready. So we just take it through the 3rd reading and pass it. You all know the situation in the sub-region. And so the Ghana Boundary Commission Bill is very critical. That one too, we've gone through the consideration stage. It left just a few amendments. We agreed to take that one to today. Now, I'm hearing something different. We just have a few days. Today is Tuesday. We have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The other days, we're preparing the House for the transition in January. So please, members, calm down. I'm really surprised the leadership on my right. I can see the Deputy Majority Whip available. I think I will have to direct you to get in touch with your colleagues to be available tomorrow so that we can do some business. Please convey that message to them that we need them on the floor. If we can't get all of them, if we can't get the leader himself, at least the deputy should be here, the chief whip should be here, so that we can do some business. Because your colleagues here cannot usurp your authority unless so directed. Even though some of you are giving a new title to my good friend, the former majority leader, so many titles are now coming. I don't know which one to always use. But he is definitely not the great leader. That one we know he is not the great leader. We know the great leader is no more. Those of you pushing him to go early, he will refuse, and I will support him. He won't go. So please, he's not. He can't just usurp the authority and be leading the House in these matters. So please, I want to urge all of you, I've listened to the minority leader. We will take a bow, and then tomorrow we come to continue with the business. Please come prepared to sit for a long haul tomorrow so that we can do most of these businesses. With this, I'll proceed, with your kind permission, to adjourn the House. Honorable members, the House is accordingly adjourned to tomorrow at 10 in the forenoon. The House is adjourned.